Okay, we're back with another episode of High Rated Edison, and today we have Yugi Richard on 926 rating versus Swifty Time with 870 rating. So both duelists just outside of the top 100 and trying to make their way into it. Opening hands are Future Fusion, Plasma, Dandelion, Stratos, and Sphere of Chaos. So this looks a bit weird. It kind of looks like the Riddle Sunshine Quickdraw deck until you get to Sphere of Chaos, where it looks like the Ponce Frog deck. So we'll see what this does. Six Samurai United, Jar of Greed, Reckless Greed, Bottomless, Solemn, and Mirror Force. So 6 Sams. So you, Rich, are going to start us off. Going to set Reckless, going to set Jar, going to set Bottomless, and pass. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot else they can do. I guess they're just trying to go to their next draw phase, draw 4 cards, and then hope they can play with the Sam stuff. Picked up Mirror Force here, just going to set Dandelion, set Mirror Force, and pass. Picks up Upstart. Okay, nice. So Upstart draws into Camon. Jar going to draw 1. United coming down now, so I don't really want to go over the 6 Samurai cards because we'll be here all day. But effectively, if you've never seen them before, they swarm the field and use their spell cards to generate other effects. So United, when a 6 Sam is summoned, you put a Bushido token on it, and you can draw cards by the number of Bushido tokens by sending it to the graveyard. This is obviously a 6 Sam monster. If their effects come up, we'll talk about it. So going to Mirror Force a 6 Sam monster. I think that's fine. Yeah, because they didn't play a monster last turn. You've seen them draw an extra card. Upstart just replaced itself. So you're probably thinking they don't have that many monsters. So I think that's a good play. But it feels weird mirror forcing a 1500 monster. But I think in this game specifically, it's fine. I'm going to set the Solemn, set the D, Prison, and pass. Okay. Interesting build of 6 Sam. Lots of draw traps and stuff. Picks up Lone Fire now. Okay, we're seeing a bit more of the deck. Looks a bit strange, but we'll see what it goes to. So going to Future Fusion for Gaia now. Dump Dandelion and Neosalia, so they are playing the 2 Dandelion. Making the tokens now. Lone Fire. Takes out a token for Lone Fire. Takes out a Lone Fire for Titanial. Yep. Going to Bottomless that. Yeah. That makes sense. Just going to pass over now. Draws into Yaichi. So going to summon the Yaichi. Going to use the 6 Sam United to draw 2 cards. Draws into Grandmaster and Morphing Jar. This is interesting. Okay, let's see how they decide to use this. So Grandmaster going to special summon itself out now. Get over Lone Fire. Yaichi get over Dandelion. Would you attack the face down? Probably right, but maybe you just take out the token instead. Okay. Draws into the Bottomless now, so they're going to use all 3 tokens for Plasma. Plasma going to take the Grandmaster and set the Bottomless. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to attack in here. I mean, we can see it as well. The D Prison, Reckless, Solemn back row, so they've got an answer to an attack. They also had an answer to a summon, but I guess you really don't want to use Solemn when you know that like Gaia is going to come out next turn. So I think that's fine. And you kind of were safe from an attack anyway. So yeah, it doesn't feel terrible. Draws into the Yata now. I'm going to set the Morphing Jar, set the Yata, set the Mirror Force. Yeah, so if they do attack into this, this is going to go pretty ham. Draws into Card Trooper now. So there's quite a lot of back row you're facing down, and you don't know there's Morphing Jar. So this is all going to be quite intimidating. Now we can see they don't actually do much. The Mirror Force and the Deep Prison Solemn are pretty good, but 2 of them don't do much. So Gaia going to half the Yaichi now. Set the Card Trooper. And pass. Yeah, okay. Doesn't see the other copy of Yaichi, you're going to set that. Pass over. Draws into Fires of Doomsday. Okay. If you've not read this card, and I haven't read it in a while, you special summon 2 Doomsday tokens. They're Dark Fiends, level 1, with 0 attack and defense. They can't be tributed for a tribute summon unless it's for a dark monster. you cannot summon other monsters the turn you activate this card. So typically you use it in your opponent's turn because it's a quick play. And Sphere of Chaos is a dark, so I'm seeing the synergy. I'm wondering what they're going to search for Sphere of Chaos. When we see Ponce do this, it's normally Junk Synchron, and then he makes a big fat Junk Warrior with all the frogs, but it doesn't look like this deck's playing any frogs. We've seen, you know, over a quarter of it, and it's got loads of little weird engines, like the Lone Fire Titanial engine, so I wonder what their search is. Maybe their search is Lone Fire, because it's a level 3, so maybe they don't actually want to use Sphere of Chaos now, because they've already gone through the level 3s that they were going to search. Okay, draws into backs to the wall. Just going to pass over. Picks up Caius. Okay, can start. Yeah. Okay, so just going to set the fires of Doomsday. Yeah, I mean, it works with Caius as well. Draws the 6 Sam United. Draws the Debris Dragon. It's so funny that this is like a... this is such a standoff between two decks that clearly want to be combo decks. So, okay. Sphere of Chaos coming down now. Sphere of Chaos is going to add. Okay, it's a Sangan ad. Okay. It's a bit weird. I'm assuming the main ads were Lone Fire. And the Sangan is just a bit of a bonus. Draws into another copy of Reckless Greed now. Okay, so going to go off with the draw traps probably. So Yata. Okay. Then 6 Sam United. Yep. Okay, going to try and bottomless. That's going to get solemned. So hand... using its effect, it's going to tribute itself, target one monster on the field and destroy it. So going to target the plasma and destroy it. Going to Reckless Greed now, draw into Gateway and Grandmaster. Okay. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. Gateway coming down now. So they're going to get to draw 2 more cards and they're going to get 2 counters on Gateway. Draws into Upstart Bottomless. Yeah, going to use the Yaichi effect now to target the set monster and destroy it. But it is going to target Fires of Doomsday and that's going to go off. So they are going to get the 2 tokens. Accurate token use as well, it's pretty cool. Upstart now. Draws into another copy of Gateway. Okay, nice. Going to set the Reckless and the Bottomless. Going to flip the other Yaichi. Get into one of the tokens. Going to use... Grandmaster to attack the Chaos, but it's not going to destroy it, so they're just doing it for life points, I'm assuming. Draws into the Debris now. They do have Dandelion, and they have already forced out the Solemn. So, and you've got, you know, you're up on cards here, and they don't know what this is, but it's an actual bomb. so maybe the plays Black Rose. Okay, no, they're just going to Caius. Going to get rid of the Gateway. And that's going to get bottomless. Sphere of Chaos is going to attempt to go into the Yaichi. That's going to get deprisoned. And pass, yeah. Obviously, we're playing with perfect information. But I think just Black Rose the field. And then, you know, Black Rose the field versus 2... what would be 3 cards in hand versus 6 Sams is probably right. They typically need, like, you know, a Gateway or United and then like a Sam and a Grandmaster, and you've already seen 2 Grandmasters, so maybe it's, yeah, maybe it would have just been better to Debris Dragon into Black Rose. Reckless Greed going to go off now. Oh yeah, and they're under Reckless, so actually it would have been these 2 cards. Obviously we know there's a Reckless Greed, they don't yet, but yeah. Okay, they're just going to probably set everything. Yeah, flip the Morphing Jar, and because this is why this card's such a bomb. I mean, the advantage this player would have had, the advantage Swifty Time would have had if they Black Rose there, and obviously we're talking about this with perfect information. They might not have seen that as the best option. But yeah, the advantage they would have had if they took out the whole field versus now the advantage Yugi Richard is going to have by replenishing the hands is pretty significant. Okay, yeah, so Swifty Time just admitted defeat there. I'm glad I didn't click one more time so we can see the hands of Soul Exchange Solemn, Scapegoat Brain Fires, Legacy, 6 Sam, Jar, and Spirit. So what you're probably thinking if you're Swifty Time is that, like, yeah, they're probably now realising that the Black Rose play might have been better, and they're also probably realising that, like, 6 Sam having 5 cards and 9 cards on field is probably just not going to be something they can get through. Okay, so Swifty is going to get to go first in game number 2 though. So let's see what they pick up. Okay, so opening hands are Oppression, Bottomless, Di-Fi, oh nice, Solemn and Oppression. This is a terrible hand overall, but the Di-Fi is nice. Soul Exchange, Scapegoat, Sangan, Heavy Storm, MST and Trap Stun. Okay, so they've got a few things they can play into this. So I'm going to start with set Sangan, set Scapegoat, set MST. Pass it over, draws into D-Prison. They're going to start with the Di-Fi, set the Oppression, set the Judgment, the Bottomless, and pass. Oh, yeah. What would I do here? I'm just trying to think what. Let's see what the draw is. Okay, the draw is Debris Dragon. Yeah, so here's the thing. You've got Heavy Storm and you've got MST. So you can play around Starlight Road. The only thing you'd lose is your Scapegoat, which you could chain. I think if I'm in this situation, I'm going to start my main phase with Heavy Storm. And you're either going to... So you probably assume with this, your opponent has a Solemn or a Starlight Road down. If it's Solemn, they're going to lose 4,000 life points, which is pretty good for you, given that they've not got any monsters. And if it's not Solemn, if it's Starlight Road, then you have the MST to play around that. So yeah, I think I'd be Heavy Storm in here. Okay, they're just going to set the Trap Stun, which is also another good option, because you've got the MST for the Di-Fi and you've got Trap Stun for everything else. Draws into Dandelion now, passes, draws into Gateway, passes, draws into Fires, passes. Yeah, I think I'd probably be getting in with this Sangan. Finally draws into the Starlight Road. Okay, so now they've got both outs to the Heavy Storm. Draws into My Body. This is just not what you want to be doing against 6 Sams. If you're Swifty Time, you don't want to be letting 6 Sams just continue to accrue resources. I mean, you've seen loads of Reckless Greeds, Yata. You've seen 6 Sam United draw cards. Like, this is not what you want to be doing right now. Sets a Dandelion, passes, draws into Mirror Force. I mean, you are lucky they're not drawing any monsters, effectively, at this point. Draws into Bottomless. Gonna MST the Di-Fi. Yep. Gonna tribute both for the Titanium. Gonna try and Bottomless that. That's gonna get met with Trap Stun. Okay, they choose not to Solemn that. Yeah, I think that's fine. You got other outs to it. So 2 tokens and the Titanium, and they're going to pick up Quickdraw. Okay, Quickdraw is going to pitch the Debris. They're not going to Oppression that. Yeah, they do have the Oppression. Okay, so Drill Warrior going to come out now. Yeah, Drill Warrior and Titanium in. They had to pitch the Debris, but they're probably just going to get that back, because right now Debris is a hell of a card. So yeah, 24, 28, they're going to pitch the Fires. Oh, okay. Okay. Now we see the Heavy Storm. So they are going to Solemn it. Oh, they're not Solemning, sorry. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so they're choosing to lose the... I guess the hand is not doing anything at the minute. Anyway, so yeah, you probably just want to conserve the life points. Finally draws into a monster, draws into the Zanji. So going to Gateway, summon the Zanji, and that's going to get out of Bottomless. Going to set a whole bunch. So D-Prison, Mirror Force, Oppression, and D-Prison. Pass over. Draws into the Bottomless this side. Oh, okay, so they're going to negate the Drill Warrior return. Sorry, I was confused about what was happening there. That makes sense. Titanium is going to try and get in. That's going to get met with Mirror Force. That's going to get met with My Body. Gonna deprison. Gonna deprison. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you successfully pulled out every single face down. And you're setting a bottomless into a deck that cannot draw monsters. And has drawn 2 Starlight Roads. If you had 2 Starlight Roads, I think you should have been setting one. You know, prior to the heavy storm going off. Obviously, hindsight's 2020. Oh, okay, players just having a bit of a ruling dispute on whether they can chain deprison to my body. I'll be honest, I don't know the answer to that, but they're going to play on, and we're going to assume they're playing it right. They are both higher rated than I am, so we'll assume they know what they're talking about. Sets the TT and passes, draws into the Grandmaster, passes, draws into Trapstone, sets it and passes, draws into Morphing Jar. Okay. Yeah, Morphing Jar. Okay, picks up Lone Fire now, passes. Picks up the other Grandmaster. Going to tribute summon for the Grandmaster now. Yeah, not letting their own Morphing Jar go off is nice. So that's going to get out of the bottomless. They're going to use the Gateway. That's going to pull out the Yaichi. They're going to pass, draws into Caius now. Soul Exchange Caius is nice. Sets the Lone Fire. Yeah, they've already gone through the Titanial, so yeah, there's nothing else for Lone Fire to grab except maybe another Dandy, which, yeah, you would rather probably just set it face down with a 1400 defense. Get it up, starting to Yatta. Gonna summon the Yaichi. Gonna try and attempt to get in. It's not gonna be strong enough. Gonna set the Yatta and pass. Draws into the Future Fusion. They will still have targets for that. Okay, let's see how it goes. So they're now going to Lone Fire for probably Dandy. Forcing out the Royal Oppression, they're going to Trap Stun that, and they're going to chain Yatta to draw. So bringing out the Dandy. Going to tribute that for Caius. Going to attempt to banish. Yep, and Yugi Richard is going to concede there. Okay, going to a game 3. This is nice. This is nice. I just spotted that Swifty's on the 42 card build, which looks a bit strange, but yeah, I don't entirely know even what I'm going to put in the thumbnail for this video with what this deck is. Spherical Quickdraw. I have no idea. Opening hands are Fires, Caius, Bottomless, Sphere, and Quickdraw. Yaichi, hand, Bottomless, Mirror Force, Iro. I'm not pronouncing that right. And Spirit. So let's see what they can do. They've drawn a few more monsters than they used to now. So they're going to set the Spirit, set the Mirror Force, set the Bottomless, pass it over, draws into the Lone Fire. Okay, so we're going to Lone Fire for Titanial. I'm slightly confused if they're playing pot or not, and we just haven't seen it. Because otherwise, maybe with the Dandelions, you probably just leave a Lone Fire in. But they're going to Bottomless that now. I'm going to set the Fires, set the Bottomless of their own, and pass over. Draws into the Gateway. Yeah, I mean, that Gateway's pretty good here. So, Yaichi, summon out, adding the tokens, and it's going to use its effect to try and pop one of the face downs. They've hit the Bottomless, which is very successful for them right now. And then Spirit is going to equip itself to the Yaichi to raise its attack. You don't want to be doing that because of Spirit, right? You just take the... Oh, sorry, yeah. How are they resolving this? Sorry, is it... Yeah, they're doing this in end phase, apologies. I was going to say, I thought they were doing that for the attack. So, going to use one of the tokens for the Caius. Going to banish the Gateway and attack. Yeah, so Spirit's going to get destroyed and unequip itself. Going to get them in phase 2 now, and they're going to Future Fusion, so they're going to reveal Gaia, dump the Neos Alias and the Dandelion. This is good. This is good. Draws into the TT now. Going to summon the hand. Going to get over some of the tokens. Yeah, and then use Hand's Effect to destroy the Caius. Set the TT. This is not terrible. Future Fusion's a bit of a bomb, obviously. and they can't see that the hand is Sphere of Chaos, which wasn't the My Body, so they are going to Sphere of Chaos now. That's going to add the Dandelion. Yeah, that ad must just be Lone Fire in this deck, right? Surely it's just Lone Fire, and then it's just, you know, helpful that Dandelion and Sangan are 3s, because nothing we've seen out of this has been like that impactful. I mean, here it's great as well for Dandy, specifically with the Quickdraw. Maybe it is for Dandy as well as Lone Fire, but it feels like the primary one is Lone Fire. So Sphere going to try and, well, would crash, but obviously Sphere, once per turn, this card cannot be destroyed by battle, so that's a really good kind of stat line for it to run into another 1600. Draws into Dust Tornado here. They've got a 6 sound combo on field. Gaia is coming out now though, and they probably just wanted to torrential that. Yeah, going to use the My Body. Okay, this Mirror Force is huge, so it's probably not game, but we'll see how they kind of resolve it. So someone's out the Nitro Warrior now. Okay. Yeah, and loses all of their attack monsters. Says the Dust Tornado and passes. That's just got to be wrong, right? Surely. I mean, yeah, you just played so hard into Mirror Force there, and it is kind of unreasonable to have done that. You could have held the Quickdraw Dandy for next turn. Gaia's pretty big. Sphere of Chaos can't be destroyed by battle once and you're up on life. It just feels like that's an awful play into Mirror Force there. And obviously we're speaking with hindsight and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, that just doesn't feel great. So Eru coming out now with Grandmaster. Going to go to battle phase now. Put him on a bit of a clock. Yep. Draws into Trap Stun, and this one is over. Yeah, so oh God, it feels really bad. I mean, they put it in the chat here, TT and Mirror Force, of course. But you've got to play around it. There was just no reason to Quickdraw Dandy there. Were they out of game range? This is 22-16. So this is 38. And then this wasn't getting you to... was it getting you to game? I'm bad at math. 38, 58, yeah, 64. So you were still 1,000 off, even with this. So it wasn't even... You can't even say you were going for a game push. That's just completely unreasonable to go for Quickdraw Dandy there. Swifty Time, I've seen them play before. They're really good. They're a really good player. I think they just thought, they've got the TT set, so what are the odds that the other one's a Mirror Force? Which is a reasonable call to make, but I just don't think, you weren't winning the game that turn, so there's just no reason to have played into it. Attacking with the Spirit and the Gaia alone would have left you with Quickdraw Dandy for a clap back into this board, which would have been really effective. So there's just no reason to go for it, and that's going to have cost them the game 3. Not a lot to say about the matches overall. It's painful sometimes watching two players on combo decks just passing back and forth until one of them draws, away to OTK. But Sam's put up a hell of a fight there. It feels like this deck, this 42 card kind of quick draw hero sphere deck, is maybe just a little bit inconsistent with how long it took to draw into like actual playable. And everyone knows that 6 Sam is inconsistent. Obviously there are going to be hands where you draw Gateway United, Grandmaster and a Sam. that's going to happen, but they're few and far between. But yeah, good match to watch overall. Good to see 6 Sams performing, fairly high ranked. It's good to see it. I like this deck on a personal level, but I just don't think it's good in Edison format. This deck, yeah, really cool. I mean, it's got all of the typical kind of Edison cards you think are strong, but yeah, it's just not. It's 42 cards, and it just doesn't feel like it needs to be. And yeah, just playing into that Mirror Force was the downfall of it though, because I think they win if they don't do that, which is unfortunate. But a good match to watch either way.